If I mention Mike Tyson to you and you say back to me, isn't that the guy who fought Jake Paul? You and I can't be friends. Or if I have a conversation about the most dynamic athletes of our lifetime and I mention Mike Tyson and you say, isn't that the guy from the Hangover movie with the tiger? You and I are not gonna be cool, and I'm turning around and I'm walking out of the room. You and I are obviously not talking about the same Mike Tyson. There's the Mike Tyson that we know today. The one that put himself back into the limelight with the Hangover movies and the reality show about his love for pigeons and his brilliant one-man show on Broadway that was directed by Spike Lee.
I was the youngest heavyweight champion of the world, always angry, fighting.
The Cartoon Network's highly entertaining animated series, Mike Tyson Mysteries, and more recently, his uneventful mega event with Jake Paul. But the Mike Tyson that I know reached the height of popularity on June 27, 1988 in Convention Hall in Atlantic City when Tyson was scheduled to fight the undefeated 31-0 former Olympic gold medalist, the Jinx, MICHEAL SPINKS, for the undisputed heavyweight championship of the world. Tyson grew up on the mean streets of Brownsville, Brooklyn, as we all know, and he was left to custody by his boxing trainer and manager, Cus D'Amato, after his mother passed away when he was 16 years old. As an amateur, Tyson won gold medals in 1981 and 1982 at the Junior Olympic Games. He made his pro debut in March of 1985, and he fought frequently after that. He was undefeated, and he won 26 of his first 28 fights by knockout. His short, powerful structure had this fast hands that proved to be too much for all his opponents. What really separated Mike from the other fighters was his fearless, aggressive style. He took the fight to his opponents, and he was never sitting back. He charged his opponents with these quick, short, powerful combinations that were just completely overwhelming. It was like a pit bull on an attack with like a singular mission right to the center of your chest. The fear and intimidation factor that Mike brought, I've never seen in my lifetime. And the scary part was, he was only 19 years old at the time. Tyson's winning streak started to gain national acclaim as he was being touted as the next great heavyweight champion. Then, in November of 1985, Tyson's legal guardian and trainer, Cus D'Amato, died at 77 years old. Many were concerned that Tyson's career may get derailed at this time. Cus D'Amato was the only person in Mike's life that he listened to and kept him in line. Mike was now a savage animal, walking the wilderness on his own. The next couple of years, Tyson tore his way through the heavyweight ranks. In 1986, he defeated Trevor Berbick for the WBC title with a TKO in the second round to become the youngest heavyweight champion in boxing history at 20 years and 4 months. In 1987, he defeated TNT, Tony Tucker, to win the IBF title, and then defeated James Bone Crusher Smith to win the WBC title to become the unified heavyweight champion of the world, Mike Tyson. And that later set the stage for the fight that everybody wanted to see, Mike Tyson versus Michael Spinks. As an amateur, Michael Spinks won the gold medal in 1976 Summer Olympics as a middleweight. But after the Olympics, he went back to work at a chemical factory in St. Louis, Missouri. Could you imagine wearing a gold medal and just mopping the floors at a chemical factory? See, Michael's brother Leon was on the verge of becoming a huge star in boxing at the time. By 1977, Leon Spinks was 6-0-1 and was gearing up for a fight against Muhammad Ali. After the 2 fights between Leon Spinks and Ali in 1978, each fighter winning one by split decision, it was finally time for Michael Spinks to start moving his way up the professional ranks. By 1981, he was 17-0 and won the WBA light heavyweight title. By 1985, he was a legitimate boxing superstar. He was 27-0 as a light heavyweight and held the WBA, WBC, and IBF light heavyweight titles. And he was taking a bold step in his career. He was going to move up in weight class to take on the undefeated IBF heavyweight champion Larry Holmes, who was 48-0 and trying to tie Rocky Marciano's record of 49-0 as a heavyweight champ. But it was the underdog Michael Spinks who made history that night, winning a highly controversial 15-round unanimous decision to become the first ever light heavyweight to move up to a heavyweight championship belt. 2 years later, that set up the collision course with Mike Tyson on June 27, 1988, in Convention Hall in Atlantic City, New Jersey, and we got the ticket to that. So obviously very famous artwork in the middle, beautiful piece. These boxing tickets are just spectacular because they really have great artwork, great graphic, great color. So you see Mike Tyson signs the back right over the Trump Plaza logo right there at towards the bottom. Tyson and Spinks in the middle. And it says Tyson versus Spinks once and for all, the undisputed world heavyweight championship. This is a really, really cool piece. What's really outstanding about it is a full ticket. And as you can see on the bottom, it says VIP Golden Ringside, $1,500. This ticket cost $1,500 back in 1988. It's in section 112, row 9, seat 10. So I don't know who this ticket belonged to, but I'm sure it was a big shot, because once you start getting to row 9, that's where a lot of people like to sit. Everybody likes to sit in the front row because they like to be seen. That's where Donald Trump sat during this match, Don King and what have you. A lot of people sat in the front row, but normally around rows 7, 8, and 9 is where you really want to sit if you're a real boxing fan, because it gets you up off the floor a little bit and gets you a better perspective of the ring. So obviously the 7, 8, 9, and 10 are probably the best rows in the house for a boxing match. So we know some sort of big shot had this one at $1,500 a ticket. It wouldn't be me, but I'm lucky enough to own it now. So when Spinks was walking into the ring, he appeared to be pretty confident. He was jawing at the crowd, and he had a little bounce to his step. But, that's when he was just kind of walking. That was his little entrance. But when he entered the ring, he looked good. His corner was raising the IBF belt. The chin was up high. He was moving around good. And then we started to hear some strange, loud metal music blaring in the arena. It was Mike Tyson's entrance music, and it was really strange and eerie. So Mike Tyson was making his entrance to the ring, led by a large group of handlers and security. There was no robe. There was no gesturing to the crowd. There was no fuss, no muss. This is all business. This is Mike Tyson, and it's very, very intimidating. And as soon as Mike steps into the ring, the crowd roars. The star gladiator has entered the Coliseum. Don King and Donald Trump were in the ring, as was Muhammad Ali, but the star of the night was Mike Tyson. And at that moment, you could almost feel all of the confidence that Michael Spinks had just a few minutes earlier just completely disappear. By the time his name was announced, you could see some of that swagger already gone. And by the time they tapped gloves, you could just see it in his eyes. He was done. Tyson comes out as furious as always in the first round. After a few quick exchanges, Tyson proved his dominance immediately. Tyson pushes Spinks against the ropes, and Spinks circles to the right, left uppercut, and right body shot. Spinks goes down. Spinks goes down. There's a standing 8 count for Spinks. He doesn't look good. Tyson knocked him down with a body shot. The ref asks if he's okay. Spinks nods and then heads to the center of the ring. As soon as he heads to the center of the ring, bam! Tyson hits him with a right uppercut. Spinks is down. He falls underneath the ropes. It doesn't look good. He doesn't look like he's getting up. He's unable to get up. 1 minute and 31 seconds into the first round, and Spinks is done. As we go back to look at this ticket again, you could see that Michael Spinks writes, when he autographs the top, he writes Mike Spinks, and he writes 32-1, which was his career record. He came into this fight undefeated at 32-0. He writes 32-1 on this ticket. And now we look at the label at the top. The PSA label says Tyson versus Spinks, Tyson first round KO, yellow variation. This is the very, very difficult full ticket yellow variation. Very, very tough to get this ticket. And signed by Spinks on the top, signed by Tyson on the bottom. This is one of the most desirable tickets for any Mike Tyson collector. So after this fight, Spinks retired. Like I said, he autographed this ticket with his 32-1 career record. You know, I have video here of Spinks signing. He was very nice to sign this ticket for me, a very, very gracious man. Since his retirement, he's mostly remained out of the boxing scene and out of the public eye. Mike Tyson signed the bottom of this ticket with his very distinctive autograph. What made this special is that Tyson's not permitted to sign tickets of any kind through his representatives at the Fitterman Sports Group. So having a boxing ticket of any kind signed by Tyson is very rare and very valuable. I have one because I have my sources. So after this fight, the complicated whirlwind spiral, which was known as Mike Tyson, began to take shape. There are way too many unfortunate instances, triumphs, downfalls, tragedies, and comebacks to mention here. But just remember that after he knocked out Michael Spinks in 1 minute and 31 seconds, Mike Tyson was the baddest motherfucker on planet Earth. And with that comes a series of book deals and video games and cartoons, documentaries, Broadway shows, movie appearances, and so on. I mean, Will Smith even made a song about him. But let's not forget that at one point, for a long period of time in history, he was not only the most dangerous man in a boxing ring, he was the baddest motherfucker on planet Earth. This is Dave Cat. I'm the Ticket Bastard. Iconic Sports Media. We love you, Mike.
Tyson!